Most people have heard about intermittent fasting, maybe skipping breakfast or doing a 16-hour fast, but what happens if you extend that fast all the way to 36 hours? It might sound extreme at first, but many people experiment with longer fasting windows out of curiosity, for metabolic health or to accelerate fat loss. And the fascinating part is that your body doesn't simply shut down when you stop eating for that long. Instead, it moves through a series of predictable physiological stages, each one triggering different hormonal shifts, metabolic changes, and cellular processes that affect how your body uses energy, repairs itself, and regulates hunger. To understand what happens during a 36-hour fast, we need to start with the moment you stop eating. In the first few hours after your last meal, your body is still digesting and absorbing nutrients, and glucose from that food is circulating in your bloodstream. During this stage, insulin levels are relatively high, which signals your body to store energy. Excess glucose may be stored as glycogen in your liver and muscles, while any surplus energy can be converted into fat. As the hours pass and digestion finishes, your blood sugar begins to fall slightly, and insulin levels begin to drop as well. This is where the metabolic shift begins. When insulin drops, your body becomes more willing to release stored energy rather than storing more of it. Around 12 hours into a fast, your liver starts breaking down glycogen, the stored form of glucose, to maintain stable blood sugar levels for your brain and vital organs. For many people, the 12 to 16-hour mark is where intermittent fasting usually ends. But if you continue fasting beyond that point, your body gradually begins relying less on glycogen and more on fat for energy. By around 16 to 20 hours without food, glycogen stores are significantly reduced, and your body begins increasing the release of fatty acids from fat cells. These fatty acids travel through your bloodstream and are used by muscles and other tissues as fuel. Around this time, your liver also begins producing ketones, which are molecules created from fat that can be used as an alternative energy source. Ketones are particularly important for your brain, which normally relies heavily on glucose but can adapt to using ketones when food intake is low. This transition is one reason some people report improved mental clarity during longer fasting periods. By the 24-hour mark, the metabolic state of your body has shifted significantly compared to when you first stopped eating. Insulin levels are low, fat burning is elevated, and ketone production continues to increase. Your body is now operating in a mode where stored energy becomes the primary fuel source. One of the most interesting processes that becomes more active during extended fasting is something called autophagy. Autophagy is a cellular recycling system where damaged proteins and worn-out cellular components are broken down and reused. Think of it as a cleanup and repair process inside your cells. When nutrients are scarce, the body prioritizes maintenance and efficiency, which may enhance this cellular housekeeping process. Another hormonal change that occurs during fasting is an increase in growth hormone. Growth hormone helps preserve lean muscle tissue while your body burns fat for energy. This is one reason fasting does not automatically lead to muscle loss, especially when it is practiced occasionally and combined with adequate protein intake during eating periods. As the fast continues toward the 36-hour mark, fat metabolism becomes even more dominant. Your body has now fully transitioned into a state where stored fat provides much of the energy needed to function. This doesn't mean your body is starving in the way people often imagine. Instead, it is simply switching fuel sources from recently eaten food to stored energy. Interestingly, many people report that hunger often comes in waves during fasting, rather than steadily increasing. Hunger is strongly influenced by hormones like ghrelin, which tends to rise around times when you normally eat. If those meal times pass without food, ghrelin levels often drop again, meaning the feeling of hunger may fade after a short period. During longer fasting periods, your body also becomes more sensitive to insulin. When you eventually eat again, your cells may respond more efficiently to the nutrients you consume, helping regulate blood sugar and energy storage more effectively. This improved insulin sensitivity is one reason fasting has been studied in relation to metabolic health and conditions like type 2 diabetes. Energy levels during a 36-hour fast can vary from person to person. Some people feel slightly fatigued during the early stages as their body adjusts to lower glucose availability, while others report stable or even improved energy once ketone production increases. Ketones provide a steady fuel source that doesn't cause the same rapid spikes and crashes associated with high sugar meals. Hydration becomes especially important during longer fasts. When insulin levels drop, the body tends to release more sodium and water through the kidneys, which can lead to increased urination. Drinking water and maintaining electrolyte balance can help prevent headaches, dizziness, and fatigue. Another interesting effect of fasting involves inflammation. Some research suggests that fasting periods may temporarily reduce inflammatory markers in the body. While more research is needed, this effect may be related to the metabolic switch from glucose to fat and the activation of cellular repair processes. By the time you reach the 36-hour mark, several metabolic systems are working differently compared to when you started. Fat oxidation is elevated, ketone production is active, insulin is low, and cellular repair processes may be more active. Your body has effectively shifted into a conservation and maintenance mode designed to function during periods without food. However, it's important to recognize that a 36-hour fast is not necessary for everyone, and it is not automatically better than shorter fasting windows. Many of the benefits associated with fasting can occur during shorter periods, like 16 or 20 hours. Longer fasts should be approached carefully and may not be appropriate for individuals with certain medical conditions. For beginners, jumping straight into a 36-hour fast may feel challenging. The body usually adapts more comfortably when fasting duration increases over time. Starting with a 12-hour overnight fast, then moving to 14 or 16 hours allows the metabolic systems involved in fat burning and ketone production to adjust more smoothly. Breaking a long fast deserves attention as well. After 36 hours without food, the digestive system benefits from a gentle reintroduction of nutrients. Many people choose meals that include protein, healthy fats, and moderate carbohydrates to restore energy while avoiding large spikes in blood sugar. Another important factor to consider is lifestyle. Fasting can interact with sleep, stress, physical activity, and overall calorie intake. If fasting leads to extreme hunger or overeating afterward, the overall benefits may be reduced. The goal is not simply to go without food, but to create a sustainable pattern that supports health and energy. Physical activity during a 36-hour fast is another common question. Light activity like walking is usually well tolerated, and some people enjoy gentle movement during fasting periods. However, very intense workouts may feel more difficult without recent fuel, especially for those who are new to fasting. One of the reasons fasting has gained popularity is that it simplifies eating patterns. Instead of constantly thinking about snacks or meals throughout the day, fasting creates clear periods of eating and non-eating. For some individuals, this structure makes it easier to manage calorie intake and maintain a healthy weight. At the same time, fasting should not become a rigid rule or a source of stress. Health is influenced by many factors, including diet quality, sleep, exercise, and mental well-being. Fasting is simply one tool that can interact with these other elements. When practiced responsibly, occasional longer fasts may offer insights into how flexible the human metabolism really is. For most of human history, food availability was inconsistent, and the body evolved mechanisms to function during periods without eating. The metabolic shifts that occur during a 36-hour fast reflect this built-in adaptability. Ultimately, what happens to your body during a 36-hour fast is a series of coordinated changes designed to keep you functioning efficiently. Glycogen is gradually depleted, fat becomes the primary fuel source, ketones rise, insulin drops, and cellular repair processes may become more active. your body has effectively shifted into a conservation and maintenance mode designed to function during periods without food. The most important takeaway is that fasting is not magic and it is not a requirement for health or fat loss. But understanding what happens inside your body during longer fasting periods reveals how remarkably adaptable human metabolism can be. Sometimes the body simply needs time without constant food intake to switch gears and use the energy it has already stored.